on, people? Back at it again. All right. Yeah, I was having a good conversation this weekend with the kids. Actually started Friday, really Thursday, Friday with Alonzo. You know, and we were having these conversations about 401k and stuff on this channel. And I got up there, we was talking, and having a conversation with your kids or just the youth. I got a short video coming up, and this video is going to be explaining how this one kid, his mom told him, go to school, get an education, you're going to learn everything you need to learn in school. And the kid was like, okay, well, I didn't know how to file my taxes. I don't know how to buy a house. I don't know how to set up a bank account. I don't even know how to pay bills. All this stuff wasn't taught at school. They teach you the basics. They teach you math. They teach you science, reading. Once you learn reading, the science and deals with the math, reading and math are your main two. If you learn mainly reading and math, they coincide with each other. Science, calculating measurements. Same thing with social studies, calculating distance, and also reading charts and stuff like that. So once you get the math and the reading right, those two enhance the other subjects. What's going on, Omega? And when it comes down to it, like I say, we're not teaching our kids enough of this at home. I mean, let's really have an understanding. The way the system works nowadays, they want these kids to go to college and be in debt. That's why I'm trying to, promote my two youngest sons into taking the trade. I mean, I do plumbing on the side as a trade. If they don't want to get their hands dirty and messy like that, they can be electricians. If you want to go a little harder, be brick masons, carpenters, something like that, that's needed right now. Those guys are making bank. I'm talking about, I know plumbers go out, lay a main water line. That's about $3,000. This one guy on YouTube, he has a master's in chemical engineering and was on his way to become a doctor or working as a scientist. But when he found out you can make, what was it? I think he said it was like $5,000 to $10,000 just doing septic tanks. He jumped on board. What's going on, boss lady? So when it came down to it, this guy with a master's degree wanted to work sanitation, because when it comes down to it, he see the potential in the money. Okay, as far as a doctor, you become a doctor, you got to work for a hospital. They set your pay. The more pay you get is the area that you at or the time. But as far as you being a plumber, let's take for instance that guy getting into sanitation, you get paid by the jobs you do. So once you advertise yourself, make a name for yourself, everybody's gonna be calling you. Prime example, down here in Georgia, you see a lot of commercials for two law firms, Morgan and Morgan and Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. If you make a name for yourself in those industries, who one of the biggest Roto-Rooters? They had commercials that go Roto-Rooters, that's the name. Some rain go down the drain, Roto-Rooters. When you make a name for yourself and make a house, like, people are gonna be calling you for everything. And that's the biggest thing. This guy makes an abundance of money. His company probably worth like millions of dollars. What's going on, young Riaz? So you got companies like that. Let's not even start on concrete. Like, I did a sidewalk. I charged, what was it, for that sidewalk? The guy bought the materials, $1,500 for the sidewalk. Just the sidewalk. What was it, a 10? was 10 by 4, but then the platform coming off the steps, because the steps are wide. I did a 7, oh, I think it was what was it, 7 by 4? Because it was wide coming back down. But hey, Bashar, what's going on? Stuff like that. And I drive trucks. This is my side hustle I do. Doing this on the side, and I make good money doing that, you know. And to the point where I'm gonna perfect my craft, I'm gonna go to school for this. To the point I'm just gonna, you know, quit delivering, driving and doing deliveries. Take this on full time, and then I'm gonna train some guys, have them come work for me. I'm just gonna sit in the office. Easy. My sons are coming up. I can get them to come work for me. That's the family business. Most family-owned business, when you have your kids come work for you and they take on that initiative, so much money. I moved a lady back in the day when I used to move furniture. This lady, she had like a multi-million-dollar company. She had investors to come in because they seen the growth of the company, to where she had big pocket friends that knew her husband and knew her, invested in the company, and they get a return. I mean, it's an easy way to make money by investing passive. You know, throw 10,000, 20,000, even $1 million, up to how much money you have, and just sit back and let them give you residuals. They might give you $500 a month off of $100,000 deal. But if you were to ever sell the company, they get a percentage of what that $100,000 they put in, you know. And that's the biggest thing, you know, learning the process. Construction, you know how much money those construction guys make driving big bobcats and bulldozers. Construction companies just make tons of money, especially if you get contracts for the city. You get contracts for like different arenas and stuff like that, foundations. Man, they pay tons of money. The government contracts are allocated to pay so much money. Believe it or not, this guy, even with me delivering, there's a guy that when I used to work at the IRS, well, work through the IRS, third party, there was a guy who used to come there and just pick up all the trash from the IRS. Don't you know, and K Business Podcast, he talks about this a lot. And Mills, how you doing? So when it come down to it, this guy literally just came up there and picked up the trash. Like, it was one thing that they had just like regular trash, but I'm talking about just like books, notebooks, like supplies that they were throwing away in abundance. So every now and then, the IRS would do a sweep where they go out and clean all the old, take all the stuff, that anything that wasn't confidential, and throw it away. Hit the like button for everybody. Appreciate it. And they would get a contract and contract it out. This guy had a box truck. All this guy did, every time they called him, and he was contracted out to come out, I think at minimum 5 times a year. So 5 times out the year, he had to set aside time for to go pick up some trash in abundance. They would give them yellow containers to put the trash in. They take it to a landfill. It was cheaper for them to outsource the contract than to just, you know, keep doing this thing with the waste management, getting a big old dumpster, dumping everything in a dumpster. But sometimes they would overflow the dumpster. So you need like 3-4 dumpsters. Or you just get somebody to come up there, pick the stuff up, throw it away. Living Out Loud, the podcast. What's going on with you? Okay, let's see how I did this last time. I was active. Okay, there we go. Add as a mod. I got you now. I had to learn that, you know, I had to go to YouTube studios and look at some videos. I'm learning. I think I'm going to take this to another level once I get everything situated. But yeah, this guy just had 2 box trucks And he said, man, this contract is 3 years guaranteed, and I get $45,000 a year for this contract. He had to do 5 mandatory pickups. So whether it was all that week he was picking it up, he could pick up a little bit per day. Long as that stuff got picked up, that's all they worried about. Just easy. 40, 45, 50,000. Just go pick up some trash 5 times. And they might add a little more here and there, stipulated within the contract. But hey, you're not even going there that much. Like I said, this guy was like, man, it's easy money. And it wasn't just that one location. It was several locations that he would go to. But that location only had 5 times within the year. And he was like, man, if anything, he said, if you combine it all together, it might be 3, maybe 4 months of work. But it's just all spread it out. Like I say, 1 week he'll be over there. Another week he'll be over there. And sometime in a week he'll do 2 buildings or 3 buildings in one day. But at the same time, he's already got paid for it. That's why I say these trade jobs, truck drivers, this industry right now is so saturated. You got people coming from everywhere, different countries, from Indian people from India. You got Mexico, a lot of them coming over. I mean, the Russians coming over too. Truck driving, making tons of money. Like everybody's like, oh, doctor, lawyer, going to school, get into debt. You go get a trade, I would say less than a year, you in your field making money. I seen a video with this young guy. I think I posted it. This guy was literally 18 years old, graduated from high school, been doing plumbing for 2 years, went to a trade school, and while he was in the trade school, getting out of high school, he started the job making $25 an hour because he had experience. He showed how he went on site doing school when he would get out early and go do certain jobs with certain companies. He was an apprentice and everything, making good money. Shout out to North Korea. But when it come down to it, this guy, as soon as he got out, went to the little apprentice school, got into a master plumbers program, and started making, as soon as he got out of that little apprentice program, from 25 at that same job, started making like 32, easy. And see, that's the point. Like, when you become a plumber, you can get paid from a company tons of money, because the thing is, if you start your own company, man, just imagine how much money, like, to go change a faucet out, $150. Easy money. I mean, to go fix a leaky toilet, it could be the valve that's leaking. Easy. 50 to 80, 50 to $100. Just go in there, cut the line, put another valve on. There you go. Replace the toilet, anywhere from 100 to 250, just to replace the toilet. And just imagine you have 4 toilets to replace in one day. Let's say, 4 toilets to replace in one day, and you're charging $250 a toilet, and they have to bring up, and they have to buy their own toilet, or you go pick it up for them. You can charge them to pick it up, but since you already charging $250, so you go pick up the toilet, bring it to the house, install it. 4 toilets. That's all. It's not even gonna take you 8 hours like a normal day. Probably take you less than an hour, 2 hours maybe, if you wasting time. But less than an hour to drop 2 toilets, get the wax ring, slap it down. If it's an old toilet there, take the old toilet out. That's why most plumbers love doing commercial properties. Jessica, what's going on? Seen your video the other day. You got a new subscriber. I sent it to my friend. He was very intrigued by your channel. But yeah, I mean, easy like that. That's why a lot of, tradesmen, they like doing apartments and things of that nature because that money is just right there. Even to run plumbing lines into a house, sewer lines, just knowing the difference of those two, you're making good money. Let alone, let's not even talk about being an electrician. Electricians, endless. I mean, you can start off minimum, 25, get the experience. You're charging, they have this YouTube video shows like one of the most craziest jobs to do. You got to get all the way up on the tower to change a light bulb twice a year. And you got like these safety harnesses, go all the way up just to change a light bulb and to come back down. Twice a year now, $150,000. And you be like, oh man, I can do that. No. This light bulb is like the height of a skyscraper. And you literally have safety hooks that, for precaution. They have your tool belt that go around, and you have hooks that are around your tool belt. So every time you go up to the next flight, you hook on so you won't fall off, because the wind gets real crazy the higher you go up. So when it comes down to it, what's going on every day? And a lot of times, people just think these jobs are so easy. I mean, even being an electrician, don't you know, man, you can get the life shocked out of you. I mean, that's the crazy part. Being a plumber, man, exposing yourself to sewage, and then you touching your mouth and stuff, not wearing gloves, not nasty. Carpenter, man, you can literally kill yourself putting something in the machine wrong, not paying attention, cutting a finger. Like, these jobs are like, you can actually hurt yourself. But then again, you can hurt yourself at a regular job. I mean, how many people work in an office, work in a cubicle? I've heard of the doors in some of these corporate offices, they slam real hard, knocking them in the mouth, knocking a tooth out. Just cubicles where the ceiling falls down. Stuff like that. I mean, there's risk and reward in any job, but at the same time, these trade jobs, they're easy to get, but, they actually natural life in the building, what's going on with you. Yeah, but they easy to get, but they come with a lot, of things, responsibility. And that's the thing about trades. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with going to college. There's nothing wrong with, wanting to become a doctor or lawyer. But I mean, honestly, everybody's not going to be a doctor and a lawyer. There's going to be some jobs that you have to do. Okay, Landon Bell. You'd be up right now. If you're ready to go to work. I'll be seeing you on your videos. But when it comes down to it, it's like I said, it's just a lot of stuff that's going on. And a lot of people just not thinking about long term. Like, even with going to school, you have debt. And it was always to where the things like, going back to what I was saying at the beginning, a lot of kids that were in school back in the day, the trades were implemented because Lisa J. Stocks was going on. Not saying that everybody's not smart, but it's to the degree that school isn't for everybody, just say the least. A lot of people don't pay attention as much. A lot of people attention span is shot. So for the most part, they look at themselves like, okay, if I go to college, don't make the grade, don't make the cut, then what happens? I'm going to end up doing what? Dropping out of college, still have debt. So what I'm going to do? I'm going to need a job. Do I want to work at the grocery store for the rest of my life? Because literally, I mean, some jobs, they had this guy, and I'm going to put it in my community tab. This guy worked at I think it was Circle K for 50 years. Don't you know this guy working at Circle K for 50 years, he got an email saying congratulations. Not probably even 50, probably like 20 or 30, 20, 30 years or something like that. I think it was 50 though. But this guy, and he still, like, when he was doing the video, he showed the email on his phone, but he was taking out trash. Like, where's the growth in the company? You know, I'm working at this company for 20 years, and I'm still doing like low level stuff as far as, you know, stocking the shelves. There's nothing wrong with that. I could do that if the staff is not there and I need to pitch in the extra hand, but I'm not up to a supervisor or manager level. You know, same rule apply if I've been working at a job. If there's no growth for me, hopefully the money is there. That's the thing. That's, you know, as a truck driver, the process of your money always steady growing. If I worked at a job and my money didn't grow, it's dead end. Why am I going to stay there? It's just dead end. You know, that's why I say other alternatives. And me and my wife, we were having a conversation about, you know, the whole thing that everybody's saying Trump wants to get rid of the Social Security. But my biggest thing is this. A lot of the youth are not wanting to get a regular 9 to 5. Wanda was going on. Maria was going on. And so when it comes down to it, every time you turn around, everybody keeps saying like, oh, man, what if he gets Social Security? You got to understand, Social Security is going to go away anyway because the youth are not working. It's the process in the matter. So you have my kids that are working now are going to be paying for my, you know, retirement. I got, my daughter's the only one that's working a full-time job. My son works, he does Uber and stuff. He said he liked the freedom now. He quit his other job, it was too demanding. He likes his freedom. My wife, her friend is in HR. She says they have about every quarter, so that's every 3 months, at least about 20 people quitting at their job. Because the youth is not taking it. I mean, honestly, I got to a point where I'm going to start maybe hopping around jobs because, you know, to keep up with inflation, I go to another job, they're going to be paying me a little more money starting off, even though I have the training and stuff. But I can always go back to my other job. They can always pay me more money then. You know, I can jump from job to job not because I'm just jumping around because I don't like what they do. To keep up with inflation, the money that I'm supposed to be making at this job. Also, looking at when it comes down to it, a lot of companies, nowadays, they don't think about the tenured guys who've been working there for 20 years. And, you know, the sacrificing and the, you know, dedication to the company. A lot of these companies don't think about that no more. You got an employee that's been with you for, you know, 15, 20 years. It's a good employee. Like, why not hold them at high regard? No. They want to sit here, take that employee and say, well, you know, you're pretty good, but this young guy better. You have companies that will take an employee that's been there, you know, about 5, 10 years, know the ropes, know everything. Get them to train someone just coming in. You know, straight out of college, got the book smarts, but don't have the experience in this job field. So when it comes down to it, a lot of them, they like, man, like, what's the use? I'm training someone to take my position that I'm already qualified for and I can do the job. So it's it starts to look real bad going into those situations when you run the numbers. Like, who wants to get caught up in something like that? And like I say, overall, getting my boys into trade will get them into the field and start making the money faster. I mean, that's the same thing with me. When I actually graduated high school, I used to wrestle in high school. My son is wrestling now, so proud father now. I'm getting my son out there on the mat and wrestle. But I had a partial scholarship to go to school in Iowa. And even though it was far, I didn't mind it because I liked the sport. But, over the summer, thinking about some things, and what got me was making the money right then. Like, I was making good money. I started off making good money, more than most of my friends made. And, I was talking to a couple of people at work, but it was more self-reflection on me as well, to where I'm like, I can go to college and be in debt, or I can, just start working in this field, start driving, get my CDLs and do all this, and I'll be making this amount of money, and I'm already in the industry that pays. So I went on ahead and did that. Didn't go to college. My grandma was kind of upset with me, because I did have a partial scholarship to go. But overall, the money I was making, like I explained to her, I say, this was my whole thing, that me not going to school, Wanda, what's going on? And Wanda, budgeting beyond. So it got to a point where I say, I'm going to be making this amount of money, and if not more, to the point where, like, I think my first full year, I made, 40, I think it was 36 the first year, 42 the second year, and I just kept increasing, just like I say by the trades, it go by the work that you do for you to make the money. So in the end, I did good for myself. Yeah, but like I said, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, like, I knew what I wanted to do. I set out there and, got it done. So, I no regrets. Didn't go to college. It would have been a better situation, but at the same time, I may do it, and I'm doing good now. But shout out to everybody in here. About to get ready to jump off of here. And when it comes down to it, nevertheless, it sacrifice. A lot of people making sacrifice. Got to make sacrifice for your kids. Got to make sacrifice for yourself. Do the research. Put your kids to a point where they understand what's going on around them. Self-care, what's going on. I haven't been seeing your channel popping up on my channel all the time, but appreciate you coming through. I'm gonna check you out more. But I'm about to get ready to get off of here. You know what I say when I get off here all the time. Shout out Chocolate Drop in the building. Let me make you a mod real quick, Chocolate Drop. Alright, you good. You know what I say? Peace. We here and we gone. Shout out to everybody. Catch you on another one. Alonzo jumping in too. I was just talking about you earlier, Alonzo. Just talking about
37 boss.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just talking about you earlier, Alonzo, talking about how we was talking about with the kids and everything, about with the life insurance, and I was talking about getting trades and getting people to, get their kids to go into trades, having options with your jobs, you know, being able to move around and make more money. But, you know, always another day. Shout out to everybody coming through. Like I say, you know, when I get off of here, we here, we gone. Peace.